But first, let's say hello to Ms. Goldsmith, a self-taught photographer whose New York City agency represents more than 50 photographers around the world. And the book, Photo Diary, is quite a piece. This is kind of a chronicling of your relation with stars in the music business, right?
Well, of my whole life, and really why music has meant so much to me, and I think to a lot of people. There's a music, I think, that we each relate to for a time when either we felt less alone, where we felt connected, happier. Could be your wedding, that a certain song then means something to you forever. So for me, I looked at like why I focus so much on musicians, and Photo Diary is about that travel that I had.
All right, well, let's look inside, and then maybe you can tell us some of the interesting stories that go along with this, because I know you have a lot of interesting stories about some of the shoots that were real easy and some that were a real pain. Let's take a look. This one, of course, we all know who this is, but tell us more about it.
Oh, well, this is Michael Jackson, which was taken when I did the Victory Tour for the Jackson 5. Michael, when we would get into towns, would find the nearest bookstore and buy a lot of fairy tales. So I knew that he was really interested in magic. And I also knew that I was really interested in getting private time with Michael to make special pictures. So I told Michael that up on the roof of the hotel we were staying in was magic light. And Michael said, "Magic light?" I said, "Sure, come with me, follow me." And that's how this picture was made on the roof.
Just like that, huh?
Yeah, just like that.
We've got Bo Diddley, Bruce Springsteen.
Really?
I mean, let's look at more of it.
Bruce Springsteen. Well, we'll talk about him
Well, actually,
later.
Bruce Springsteen is connected to this picture in that when I was going to photograph Bo Diddley, I was really excited about it because I wanted to share with him all these parts of Bruce Springsteen's songs, which Bruce had pointed out to me were in fact Bo Diddley riffs. But when I arrived, the first thing that Bo Diddley said to me was, "You know, all these rock stars today are making money off of my riffs, off of my..." And I thought, well, I think I'll
leave that one alone, right?
I'll leave that one alone, yeah.
How did you get into doing this? As we look at the
Into this particular photograph?
No. Into
We
this
were driving along, there was a burnt-out house. I think photography was something that I was meant to do because I never really thought that I'd be a photographer. It's just that everything in my life, even from my early experience of having my father, who was basically an amateur photographer, take me in the dark room so that the surprise of a child seeing their own face come up in the tray gave me a certain sense of photography being, like Michael thinks, you know, magic.
Right. You say, I've come to believe that musical genius only exists in people who are psychologically imbalanced.
Yes, that's true. I absolutely do. I think that I have had the opportunity to meet numerous people who are originators, not just in rock and roll, but I mean originators. Miles Davis, as far as jazz is concerned, Vladimir Horowitz, and all of the experiences that I've had with these people, other people always say like, "Oh, tell me about so-and-so," or "Is it true they really..."
Yeah.
These people are not going to behave like normal people. They are geniuses, and I've had the privilege, as one might say, to experience their craziness. So I know that, in fact, when I'm dealing with a certain type of personality that could be very changeable, inscrutable, that I can't understand what's going on, I have to say to myself that I really don't understand where that kind of talent comes from either. Right. And I have to think that it's because they're crazy and I'm normal.
You had a group and did a little rock and roll. How does that relate, and what kind of memories and how does it intertwine itself into this whole scenario, your book, the whole deal?
Well, there was a... You mean when I was a rock and roll singer? Well, I was a rock and roll singer with my band, The Walking Wounded, when I was in college. And then something happened in my life which made my parents say, it's all in the book, which made my parents strongly suggest to me that I never sing again, especially with a rock and roll band. So later on in life, once again, things happened and I had the opportunity to make a record with Island Records under the name of Will Powers. And I wanted to make a record where people would, I think in listening to music all the time, subconsciously you're also hearing all the lyrics. Right. And Will Powers was about a positive thinking.
How you doing, Len? Good to see you.
Fine.